またなだ。
取引は早く済ませ値段は言おう。その審査を通ったもんだけが用意しろですと。
弱点が丸見えでしてよ。まだいるのだわ。逃がさないのだわ。はい。やっあはっやっ待ちなさい。砂浜に思いを刻んで連続得点なのだわ。はい。はっはっふっやっせやっははいはっはっこれは夏だけの剣術。やっ退屈もいいとこです。よっと波しぶきがザッポー。後でお買い物に行くのだわ。潮風が頬を撫でる。ごめん遊ばせ。はっ行って攻撃続行。やっやっ完璧な新メタル。
ああ。
今回町の中心部を突如ホローが襲った。オブシディアン大隊。やれやれ、これだからヘリウスの
さ、俺たちが手を焼いたホローなんて今まであったか？
私たちが守るべき路線。一歩下がればそこには市民たちがいる。
鬼火。
いつもなら隊長のブリーフィングに。さては皆のために装備の最終点検をしてくれたのか？とはいえ遅刻は許されない。オブシディアン大隊所属アガメムの
オブシディアン隊アガメムの正体支援を。
オルフェウス、撤退しよう。撤退だと？なぜだ？まだタイ私はここは私たちに任せて。それに後ろには市民が。それでこれで終わりか。仇は撃つ。仇？全てを。
隊長、鬼火姉さん、また夢を見たのでありますか？
So they digitize that soldier's mind into this tale?
知能構造体は夢を見ない。あれはただストレージの隅に残ったキャッシュの断
Yeah, I
片。
see. So it's presumably a construct based off the mentality of that soldier.
つまり
夢は見ないと言っただろう。オルペ
時々。でも結局鬼火姉さんは
寝てなどない。セルフチェックだ。それと前にも言った。
鬼火隊長、もう二度と寝言を盗み聞きし。でもこんなに距離が近いわけで。
寝言じゃない。セルフチェック中に音声モジュールが発したよ。発シグナル。
鬼火隊長、もう二度とセルフチェック。
それにしても奇妙だ。どうにも不吉だな。
知能構造体も。
私もお前と同じく学業を諦めて軍に入った口だ。さて、優雅な朝食はここまでだ。
はいであります、鬼火姉さん。
That's interesting too. Like he basically just dropped the facade right there. Obviously, you know, they're talking to him like he's a normal human, and he's like, no, I'm a robot. I'm an intelligent intelligent construct. Intelligence construct. Anyway, but then he just said, just there, just like you, an idiot who dropped out of school to join the military. What? Weren't you just saying that you're an intelligence construct? You know? How could you be an idiot who dropped out of school to join the military if you're an intelligence contract? Obviously. So it's kind of weird that they, on one side, want to pretend they're not human, but then constantly bring it up. Obviously, their dreams are another way of reminding them of their previous humanity. I think it's more of a defense mechanism. Like, no, I'm not that person anymore. I'm a new thing. I'm new now. Like, I'm not that. I'm not who I was before, type thing. So it's like, oh yeah, I'm not that anymore. I'm just an intelligence construct. That's all I am. But then, echoes of their humanity still kind of reside. So that's why they said overslept initially. They seem to be trying to draw a line between the present and the past. But, you can't. Emotions don't work that way. Oh, I thought Seed would be bigger. I guess we did see it before. I just thought, I thought it'd be a little taller. It seemed taller in the anime.
おはよう諸君。今朝のブリーフィングだが、三将会の拠点に対するこれまでの浸透作戦とフォーセルメックスから提供のあった資料からだが、連中の本拠地の位置やよって主力がフォローで掃討作戦を始める前にフォロー内に一番槍を担ぐのはオボルスだ。君たちの戦果鬼了解で感度の
鬼ビネス隊長ったら
またこうして肩を並べて戦
大佐、今回の作戦にそうそう、トリガーさんが
トリガー隊員の言う通りだ。今回の作戦は事前の段取りの通りに三将会は長く英飛地区を蝕んできた。その根絶こそ大隊の使命だ。これまでの行動で敵はかなり損耗しているはず。この機に残党を一掃し本拠地を潰すと。我が軍はすでに拠点の位置を複数把握しているが、本拠地の正確な位置はまだだ。そこで諸君を分隊単位で偵察に行かせる。マッチロック分隊は正面突破と市長の技術顧問との合流およびデータ取得に協力。アイアン分隊は空から地上部隊に火力支援と情報を提供しろ。作戦コードはアイアンマッチロックだ。戦闘準備。こちらオブルス、目標のフォローに到着。
マッチロック分隊配置につきました。
アイアン分隊位置を報告しろ。オーバー。
1号さん、
まだヘリの中に20分ほどでマッチロック から3時の方向に着陸予定です。
行動目標その1、視聴好き特派員のお迎えであります。
随分な大物だな。幻正体が直々に出迎える必要があると。確かに大物ではありますが、本当は気さくな方でして。
どんな人なんだろうね。
おしゃべりはそこまでだ。特派員と
目標との合流に成功であります。鬼火隊長、こちらが四星町の方から来られた。
妙だな。イゾルデの話だと支援
ふふん、なんて、あのトリガーさんや11号さんが口を揃えて。
知ってるぞ。悪名だか。
トリガーさんの話。
仇の話なら。
ですがその理屈ですと悪名。
正直に言わせてもらう。あの時からオボルス正体がプロ騎士と行動を共にするのはどうも気が進まなかった。私は前時代的で融通の利かぬ兵。
影に潜んで裏の世界から街を救う。
お前の武勇伝そのもこの都市で行動する以上必ず何らかの目的がある。
大丈夫、あんたの原則が間違ってなくて。
そう願っ。
別に悪役ってことで。それではこれより優秀なフォローの案内に、その一方で我々はバエト。
軍には優秀な手。
鬼火隊長、11号さんなんてあの二人が揃ってた。
ならこれでブリーフ。
敵の数が予想以上であります。
アイアン分隊、状況を報告しろ。アイアン分隊、聞こえたら応答しろ。
隊長と時間が。敵の増援が次々と湧いてくるであります。
こちらマッチオス、進行を妨害されている。アイアン分隊、聞こえたら応答しろ。
作戦方向、敵の増援を発見。
アイアン分隊、
まさかシードたちの身に何かあったのでしょうか。ジャミングを止めるなら近くの発生装置を停止させるのが一番早いよ。周りの宮妻が。すいませんか。僕たちは敵の真上にいるよ、隊長。
目標を捜索中。
ピット。
アイアン分隊、指定地点に着陸しました。マッチロック分隊、応答してください。通信が妨害されているようです。ビッグシードの通信設備は。
ノイズしか聞こえないよ。
まずは周囲の敵を排除しましょう。早く隊長たちと合流しなければ。特派員と
周辺エリア制圧完了。お邪魔虫はいなくなった。 のジャミング装置を停止させました。
出ないぞエテリアスがまだまだ宮妻から出てきています。だいぶ宮妻を溜め込んできたようだな。
アイアン分隊、制御室にエーテル伝送装置の端末はある？ラジャー、任務目標更新、エーテル伝送装置の停止。
火力支援スタンバイ。エーテル伝送装置停止しました。
やったー、これで宮妻の供給が止まるね。
あとは敵の残党を一掃し合流地点に向かうだけだ。私たちマッチロック、敵残党を掃討した。
あの棺桶のようなもの、なんだか不気味であります。棺桶って
デバイスへのハッキングに成功。データを解析中。メッシュネットワークを検索中。
装置が連動してる大型装置の一部みたいだね。一部を解析できれば他の装置の場所がわかるかも。
黒騎士君はハッカーとしても凄腕のようだな。
すごいのであります。
休眠モード中に私の頭の中を覗くような真似は。
ちょっとそんな行儀が悪いことしないから。
ネットワーク解析進捗 50%。
あれはポーセルメックス製のエーテル反応機だね。確かに見た目がちょっと。
ポーセルメックス、ああ、例の三商会と手を組んでる会社。
マッチロック分隊の通り道です。
今回の任務は順調だったな。みんなご苦労だった。
特派員殿もお疲れ様であります。私はやるべきことをやっただけ。すごかったのはみんなの方だよ。あれ？
シード。
やっほー、プロ騎士くんだ。久しぶりだね。うんうん。あ、ビッグシードも覚え。今はスリープ中だから直接君と。でも君のこと信頼できる？もうビッグシードにそう吹き込んだのはビッグシードって？ビッグシードは知能構造体だよ。プロ騎士くんからは僕の同じ匂いがするし、
So maybe Seed Senior is also a soldier, like Captain Magus on Orphe's tail. Maybe, I mean, it could be that both of them were actually, I mean, considering that this dude obviously was sick, right? We saw from his flashback. He could have been made into an intelligent construct after the Hollow Zero catastrophe. Seed Senior could also be the same thing. Although maybe it didn't work as well, because like he says he's constantly falling asleep and stuff, so it seems like he's kind of like losing himself to a degree. Well, not to a degree, to all degrees, really. And it seems like the likely outcome of Seed Senior is just that he's going to never wake up. Right? He'll just fall asleep forever. So it seems like there might be some degradation to his construct. Now, it's hard to say why, right? Because from the animation, it seemed that like he was going to kill Flora. Because it's like the AI portion of him was like, oh, that's a threat. I don't know if she actually is a threat, right? I don't know if it was anticipating something about her. I mean, the fact that she wasn't corrupted in the Hollow maybe means she's closer to an ethereal than a human, perhaps. Or maybe the concentration in her was so great that the Seed's AI thought she was dangerous, and so it tried to kill her. But basically, in the animation, what Seed did is he, like, took something out of his head, and he kind of just, like, snapped it off and broke it off. And so, and he did, and I think it did show, I think it was a Soul Day, who was, berating him for doing that. And so it could be that that's why his personality is basically falling asleep, is because he did that. It could be that he ruined the integrity of his construct, and so it's just constantly degrading, and his constant sleeping is just like, it's just a symptom of that. And eventually, at some point, he'll just degrade to the point where he won't be able to awaken anymore. I think that's it. Like, they didn't explicitly say that. I think they did actually say they did mention the consequences of doing that. So maybe they did explicitly say it. But yeah, so that could be the difference between the two of them, is that Orpheus Magus won't die because he's fine. It also could be that it's hard to say, like, when that happened too, because like Seed Senior might have been one of the first tests, and then he did this, and then they were like, oh, okay, let's not put our intelligent constructs into autonomous things because this could happen, by removing this portion of them, it ruins the construct. And so it could be that the reason why Magus is on Orphe, is attached. I don't know if it's attached to the tail or if they just attached a tail on her. I don't know if she had a tail and they just kind of put Magus on like a gauntlet, or if the entire tail is a robot, it's robotic, and they just attached it to a tailless person. So it's hard to say. But yeah, it could be that that's the reason why they did it. It's because they're like, oh shit, we can't make autonomous constructs because shit like this might happen, so let's just append them to actual people to act as combat enhancers so that we won't run into this Seed issue again. It could be it. Obviously, it's hard to tell one way or the other. Because while we know a little bit about Seed, and that's probably the likely reason for him constantly sleeping, is what he did in the Hollow in rescuing Flora, we just don't know anything about Magus, other than what we just saw just now in his flashbacks of, yeah, they went into the Hollow Zero catastrophe, they were saved by Yishuan's sister, and most of them were killed, some of them survived, one at the very least one with a severe illness, because he was hospital. I mean, I don't know. We saw him all bandaged up with an IV in him. He might not have been dying, He could just be that he was just that injured. So it's not. But considering we know that he's now a tail, I don't know. I would bet he didn't have long to live. But it also could be that he just chose to do it, right? He was severely injured. Maybe he lost the use of his legs, and then he was given the opportunity. Hey, would you like to become an intelligent construct abandon your body and live on to help future soldiers, right? He might have easily been like, yep, let's do that. Fuck this body, I'm out. You know, could have been something like that.
あなたたち、
そういう11号だって。
ええ、ルイはと
11号ったら鈍いな。プロキシ君は褒めてないよ。
シードに11号。
電波？
だが小娘たちを手なずき、とにかく悠長に雑談してる場合じゃないんだ。まったく連中の本拠地。
短い時間でこれだけの物資を移送するなら、三将会は長い時間をかけてラマニアンフォローに根を張ってきたから。でもね、フォローの迷路なら私より詳しい人もいる。パエトーンの魔法、キャロットと言われるよりもずっと迫力があるのであります。
これは大きく。
私に任せて。
I just never really understood how like proxies did this shit. You know, where it's like I get when if they have, I get if they all have. Oh shit! Finished. Wait, did I finish? Yeah, it's just like, why do you keep coming up? Oh, okay, I thought we were gonna have to fight them. I never understood, like, what's happening? Is it just going invisible? You know? Is Seed going invisible, or is it, like, actually disappearing? But yeah, I mean, I always thought that was stupid, where it's like, hey, cool, Python, you can finally go inside the Hollow. It's like, oh, cool, I have no combat experience whatsoever, let's go inside. It's like, dude, you realize like everyone else who goes into the Hollow can fend for themselves, who have some form of combat experience, because that's what they do. They go in there and fight. You don't have that. Like, why would you volunteer to put your life at risk with no combat ability? And the only utility you can bring is it can be done through Eos. Now, technically, this whole Hollow thing and her training in the Yunqui Summit actually does give her an actual reason to go into the Hollow, because presumably the special mini game powers that we get, you know, the turning things invisible and non-invisible and like destroying miasma pockets and stuff like that by manipulating ether. Presumably that has to be done in person. So, like, at least this Hollow provided a reason for us to actually be in there. But, like, at the end of last season, Season 1, it was, like, no reason whatsoever. It was like, we hadn't even met the Yunqui Summit, but it was like, oh, hey, cool, we fixed your eye's firmware so it doesn't take too much processing power, and now your ether adaptability is back. And it's like, oh, cool. And it's like, hey, you want to go into the, like, and the second we were able to do that, we then started immediately going into the Hollow. It's like, why? Like, we can't provide we provide no extra help by being there in person that Eos himself couldn't provide, right? Like, sure, being a full-size person might give us more, like, movability. Like, sure, like, we could, like, manipulate things better, but, like, at the end of the day, it's just like anything that we could do ourselves could be done by any of the Hollow investigators that are going into the Hollow. Oh, you need to push a button that's too high for Eos? Any one of them can push that fucking button. You know, there's no reason to go in yourself and risk your life and basically be a liability, because, like, there wasn't another instance in the whole Bringer investigation where it was like even Eos almost died. Like, Eos almost got destroyed, and it's like, yeah, that's the whole thing. And at least Eos is a smaller target and is less likely to be targeted. And if it dies, who gives a shit, right? you have a bunch of other Bangbus. So, like, yeah, sure, it'd suck if it lost, because, like, each one is its own special, unique snowflake, but, you know, it's just like, it's better him than you. So it made no sense at the end of season 1, where it was like, oh, cool, now you can do this, and we immediately go in. We provide no extra benefit, but just provide extra risk. We have a risk of dying. We make it harder for the Hollow investigators because now they have to protect us. Like before, it was just like, yeah, you know, protect us if you can. But now it's like, oh, no, like you need to protect us because we can't fight back. We have no combat experience. We can't protect ourselves. So now you have to go out of your way to make sure to protect us. Whereas if with Eos could just like hide in a pipe or something, hide behind a rock and be pretty much unnoticed, which you can't do as a human. So it's like it made no sense. And then we got with the Yunqui Summit, and it's like, oh, okay, now we have some powers, and these powers might necessitate us to be actually there in person. Okay, that makes sense. But even still, like it was dumb when we first went inside the Hollow, because it's like we provide no additional benefit for going in. It just is there are only negatives of going in, no positives whatsoever. Now still a shitload of negatives, but now we actually have the positive of being able to manipulate ether and solve ether puzzles within, and you know, purify miasma, which can be necessary.
三小会が普通の悪役と違うのは、私たちが想像もできないようなことを平気でしてくるところだね。
Yeah, see, and that's the thing is the creator, right? So the previous head of the Exaltus we met and fought and beat, but then came back like seemingly without issue. So he's obviously not the creator, but he did seem like the head. So my question was, is there an actual creator within the Exaltus? Or is the creator like some sort of like deity they worship? Like is it kind of like some sort of ether god, right? Like if these hollows are created by like a connection to another realm, perhaps, and like when the realms connect, ether spills out from the other realm, which is what creates the hollow. It could be that there is some sort of like all-powerful magician or god in the other realm, and is that what they call the creator? Like, is he the one creating these gaps? Like, is it someone from another realm who's trying to get inside our realm? So he's weakening the fabric of the universe and breaking through on certain points, which creates hollows. Is that the creator? Or is there another person within the Exaltus? You know, like the creator of the Exaltus, right? Or maybe the one who initially, you know, exacerbated the Hollow Zero incident. Maybe that guy who, maybe he, like, was the first one to commune with the other realm, and that's why they call him the creator, because he created the Hollows. Or maybe he was able to sense the other realm, and he was the one who first pierced the veil, which allowed the first Hollow to appear as he breached the other realm. Like, so it could be like, is he the creator because he's the creator of the first Hollow? Or do they mean, yeah, so some metaphysical being that is like behind ethereals and ether in general, right? So I'm curious how that will be addressed. Because it's like, did the guy we beat, was he actually the head of the Exaltus, you know? Was he actually like the CEO of the Exaltus? And they are just worshipping some other like being? And it's just like actual worship of another being they believe above humans? Because it could be like just one super powerful ethereal, like Nineveh is a really powerful ethereal. Like maybe there's one even above that is so powerful it can't actually get into our world. So like maybe we can sense it, and maybe the Exaltus can sense it existing there, and so maybe that's what they worship. And the guy we fought was actually the actual head of the Exaltus, you know? Or is there another guy in the Exaltus? Yeah. So that's what I'm kind of curious about, like if there is another big bad within the Exaltus, or if this creator is outside of the Exaltus, and there is just the subject of worship by the Exaltus. What? No, that's 100% not the case. They aren't fanatics who treat ether as a deadly poison corrupting new Eridu. They're using ether to advance humanity. All their experiments are trying to make people ethereals. They're trying to advance humanity down this evolutionary path of, becoming ethereals. Like, that's what the whole point of sacrifice is. The sacrifice core is like, and like what Bringer happened to be. I believe what they're trying to do is they're trying to give humanity ethereal bodies with human consciousness. I believe that's what they're trying to do. So they don't view it as a deadly poison. They view it as a cleansing, right? It's cleansing the impurities from humanity, would be my guess. But they never treat it like a poison. Now they use it like a poison, but that's not how they treat it, right? They use it like a poison that will corrupt New Eridu, but their purpose isn't corrupting them, it's to transform them into the next stage of humanity, right? So there's a difference there. But to be fair, I mean, that is how they use it, so you would imagine that from the good guys' perspective, who don't speak with them, hell, even my guess is just purely an assumption. And we've seen cutscenes of just the Exaltist as well, so like we have more of a inside track on the Exaltist than anyone, because we have this awesome third-person perspective of watching a story. So we've seen scenes that none of the good guys could have seen, because we, are watching a story. I don't know. Not every member is guilty. Sure, right? Many innocent civilians were deceived into joining. Yes. But at the end of the day, you're guilty for your actions. If you were deceived into joining and then did something bad, then yeah, you are guilty. Now, there was a lot of testing and research being done within this hollow, so it is possible you deceived innocent people into just researching miasma. I mean, I imagine the military also has people who research miasma, so it wouldn't be crazy to think that there could be some people who thought they were working for a company who was trying to research miasma to, come up with a cure or come up with a better preventative measure against it, besides just the Force Illuminex's solution for their anti-corruption stuff. So it could have been like that, right? You thought you were working for the good guys, trying to create a better cure, trying to find a better way to purify miasma, but you were actually working for the bad guys, and they used your research against you. Yeah, that could be happening. But I mean, so also not every Exaltist, sure, but I would say every Exaltist member you meet in here that attacks you, yeah, probably does. Sure, he could be a grunt, but at the end of the day, if you worked for the Exaltists and they're like, hey, take these weapons up and go attack this person, if you go and follow them, then yeah, you're kind of guilty, dipshit. You can't use plausible deniability at that point when it's oh yeah. You can't use plausible deniability when you're told, oh yeah, go commit crime. And you're like, okay. Sure, it might be peer pressure, right? This might be your first job. Might be your first mission. You might have just joined. And then your first order was, oh look, there's people here, go kill them, right? And or they could just be told, hey, defend the base or something.
いや、ボーセルメックスが提供した資料にイゾルデが持ってた情報を合わせると、英比地区にも大量のオブスキュラが配置されている。
300？ うんうん。いくらを。
この情報は直ちに軍へ報告せねばなら
Well, yeah, you don't go. I mean, at the end of the day, what you have to do is you have to go at it like a military organization.
凶悪かもしれない。
You bring your entire force. Well, I don't know. I would say you bring your entire force to go after one, right? Go after one, detain it, see how powerful it is, then split your force accordingly. But I would probably say split it no more than into thirds, and then you just go after them one by one. It might take longer, and some might escape, but it's like it's better some escape than you wipe out the military force that can fight them, right? You want to make sure you have enough powerful force. It also is kind of weird, right? Because it's like, well, we knew that we were told there were like 300 of these things before. So this is one of those situations where technically no time has passed. There are some instances where games, especially like live service games, do acknowledge the fact that like there is a patch cycle in a way, but they don't like literally say, "Oh, wow, it's been 6 weeks since we last met." You know, they don't do that, but they do admit, like offhandedly, that it's been a while since we met. Even if we didn't meet them in the previous patch, it's like, oh yeah, it's been a while. So you're trying to say like, yes, time has passed an unknown amount of time. But here it's like, well, we knew about these 300 Obscura things in the last patch. Like, why the fuck didn't you fix this in the meantime, right? Which the only acceptable solution, the only acceptable answer for that would be just the fact that they, it hasn't been that much time. Like, we only finished this like a day or two ago or something like that. So yeah, some people do a mix and match. I mean, because like obviously time has to progress. Like things take time, you know. Like that's why when like people in Final Fantasy 14 are like trying to like say, oh well, here's the ages of all the characters. It's like, well, no, those are the ages of those characters at the start of A Realm Reborn. But like, it takes time to do all the events we're doing, right? Like, A Realm Reborn was traipsing around all the countries, right? We were going from Limsa to Gridania to Ul'dah, doing all that stuff. Like, just sheer travel time alone would mean that would take months, right? It would be months. And then we're fighting the Garleans. Like, sure, like, obviously invading the Castrum and defeating the Ultimate Weapon happened in a night. Like, that quest, yeah, sure, happened over the process of a night. But, like, when we went to raid that Castrum, we have to get a military force of all the Grand Companies. That doesn't happen in an instant. Like, that didn't happen in a day. It took them days, maybe even a week or so, to get ready their forces to do something like that, right? And so, like, time has to have progressed. And the game itself does somewhat acknowledge that, too. In between, like, patches, sometimes you'll notice that, like, so we do something in a patch, and then, you know, the next patch comes out, which is like the next story patch comes out, which is like many months later, and we talk to the NPC who we might have just talked to at the end of the last patch, and we'll say, oh yeah, it's been a while, right? Which of course is funny if you are, because like this is something that's happened in previous patches too. So for a new player doing the story content back to back will do a patch, you know, say goodbye to the person involved with the patch. Cutscene ends. You see a new quest marker right above that same person's head. You talk to them and it's like, hey, it's you. Yeah, it's been a while. It's like, it's been 5 seconds. But like, that was the whole thing, is that like, well, it's been a while because they're assuming that time has passed due to the patch cycle, right? And so, and people are obviously doing it for Final Fantasy 14 because of Alice and Alphino trying to like quote unquote legalize them. I mean, to be fair, I do think they are adults now, because like time has progressed. Like they were 16 at the start of A Realm Reborn, but the events of the Realm Reborn had to have happened. Like just the sheer amount of time that would have had to have happened for all like the travel and all that shit, just would have had to take forever, right? They would have to take months to do all the things we did, because like we weren't like booking it the entire time, right? It was like, oh, do these random quests, do this. You know, it's like you could easily see it taking like a week to travel to Ul'dah and then to investigate the Amalja, and then finding the soldiers that were kidnapped by them to be affected by Ifrit. I forget what the term was. Attuned. What was it? Anyway, either way, that. So it's like it takes a while for all that shit to happen. So it's like, yeah, it takes weeks or months. Like I assume that like the events of A Realm Reborn, just the base game, would have happened over the course of a year. Just I could maybe say as short as 6 months, maybe, but I would say 6 months to a year is how long it would have taken for all those things to happen. And then there's the patch content afterwards, and it's like, okay, and even if you're gonna like book it, it's like still takes a few months. But like Stormblood is a really good example, right? So Stormblood, you know what happens in Stormblood? Well, we want to go to Kugane. What do? We get in a ship. Yeah, we get in a ship that sails from Limsa across the entire world to Kugane. And it just happens instantaneously for the most part. We do actually run into a dungeon. So we do the Siren Song Sea, I think. But we do run into that dungeon along the way as we get. But still, that dungeon probably took a day. But like the sheer amount of traveling time it would have had to take to get from Limsa to Kugane, because this isn't something like with Adnair where we're like, oh, we're gonna test the Aether network. We're gonna teleport you to a place you've never attuned to. So, and so obviously, yeah, travel time takes some time, but like going from Limsa to Kugane would have had to take months. That's how long ship travel takes. And again, like the beginning of Endwalker had us go from Limsa again to Sharlayan by boat. So again, something that's going to take a long fucking time. Hell, the Dawn Trail again from Sharlayan to Liolal or Tural by boat. Again, like these things take months to do, especially the Kugane one because it's even further away. So like clearly time has to be progressing just sheerly from travel time. So yeah, so to think that the ages they gave these characters at the start of A Realm Reborn is what they currently are, it's like, no, like I would imagine, obviously I wouldn't say, like I give a ballpark estimate of saying, hey, the amount of time is about the same amount of time as their release schedule. So like when so every 2 years, like their ages advance, like, so it's like, oh yeah, we did all the events of the patch, we did the events of the expansion, and then like we do the events of all the patches. And I would say like the entirety of that would take about 2 years in game, in the in-game world. But obviously they don't want to acknowledge that, simply because if they keep aging, like, sure, it's been 10 years since the game came out. So like you would expect Alphino and Alisaie, to no longer look 16 anymore, but like adults at 26. But they don't want to do that. So they're like, well, we don't want to have to change their character models and all that shit. So it's just easier for them to be like, fuck it. They don't age, right? So I think it's done more for practicality than reality. But yeah, like everyone is aging because this shit takes time for it to happen. It takes time for you to walk from this location to this location. It takes time for you to chat and investigate and all that shit. And it's the same for stuff like this. So most games kind of acknowledge it, like Genshin definitely does, where it's like, hey, oh yeah, it's been a while, we did this, we did that, and when the next patch comes around, they're like, hey, yeah, oh, it's you, I haven't seen you in a while. And sometimes it's like, true, it's a character we haven't seen in a while. But other times it's like a character we met in the previous patch, and they say, yeah, it's been a while. So, they do acknowledge that time is passing in between events in Genshin. And this game kind of does that too, a little bit. But this is obviously like, well, this is a situation that doesn't really make sense unless no time has passed, because we already knew about the 300 Obscura, so why the fuck weren't you dealing with that shit? It also does beg the question of like, sure, we're going in as just the Obol squad and just as the military, but there were a lot of forces at play. There was the military, there was TOPS. Like, why did no one get the Obscura that we've long since known about? Yeah, see, like, it's the Overseer. So the Overseer is the one we beat previously, who, like, just came back with his monster from the thing. And that's the thing, is you can see, may the Creator refine you. So I guess maybe they either worship Ether, Ether itself as a god, or there is some sort of other super-powered ethereal on the other end of Apollos that maybe they worship. But as you can see, like, may the Creator refine you. That's basically what they are trying to do. As I've previously said, is that they're trying to refine humanity. They're trying to advance humanity's evolution through ether.
Hmm.
結局偵察任務は問題なくおおよそ秩序だった動きもしなければ知恵が回るわけでもあるまいに対フォロー行動部や治安局がそ
れにプロキシ殿の活躍も無視で
はあオルペンス助けてあ
ります
鬼火隊長慢心はするなよ
分かってる連中の本拠地があるホロー内座標
市内のオブスキュラ捜索は私と中流部隊で竹は末から木は元からというそれはそうとプロキシホローでの
そういえば鬼火隊長がねパエトーンは悪党だから
おいやめろ都合よく話を切り張りしやがって
そうかそうかどうやら私の定めた対パエ
すべては自分が心を強く確かに言葉はちょっときつかったけど鬼火隊長とチームのみんなは真剣に私の任務をサポートしてくれたし軍用レーザーだってすっごく
Wait, Vegas is a woman? That was a yeah, I guess that's kind of the problem. Since I'm on my treadmill and the sound of my television is not super high, I can't actually hear it. I can vaguely hear their voices, but I can actually tell their tone and stuff. And realistically, it doesn't really matter what the tale sounds like now. I needed to have listened to the flashback. Oh, okay, so Magus is a woman. Got it. Okay. Yeah, it's hard to tell, because obviously the dream was from first-person perspective, and they never really looked down on themselves. We just saw their, like, injured, battered hands. But I'm pretty sure they said something in that dream sequence, so I could have heard a female voice from that and gotten it. But yeah, I'm on my treadmill, so I can barely hear their voices.
それだけの腕がありながらち
ょっと不名誉ってどういうこと
隊長今
お前たちプロ騎士はこれまで合法的な資格のない市民をどれだけホローという地獄に引きずり込んできた
I mean, this is stupid, too. How many unqualified had you led straight into danger within the hollows? First of all, they were going into the hollows anyway. They were hiring a proxy. If they didn't get me, they would have gotten someone else. So, yeah, sure, they're unqualified, yeah. But they were going to go in. If they didn't have a proxy, they would have gone in by themselves and died already. So, by at least helping them, I can help keep them alive. Now, the Hollow Raider things is just total bullshit.
鬼火隊長確かにあんたが言うアンダーグラウンドの中にはそれで 人をアングラ呼ばわりする以上、そっちには正義の味方しかいないんだね。防衛
Yeah, exactly.
もういい。鬼火隊
Oh,
長
like even the Exaltus understood. It's like, yeah, the Defense Force isn't doing it for as righteous a claim as they say, and that's what happens. Is you get the righteous cogs in the wheel, like Magus, get deceived into working because they're like, oh, we think we're doing it for the right cause, and then you realize, oh, actually, what the real reason was is the military was trying to wrest control of the Hollow from the Exaltus and stake their own claim for some of Porcelanetic's proceeds, right? If they were able to restore the Hollow, they might be like, hey, we want 10% of your profits, right? Because we helped liberate it, and we'll continue to provide, security in the future, right? Could be something like that, right? Obviously not what they do, defeating the Exaltus is good. Like, so you might be doing the right thing, but you might be doing the right thing as a prelude to doing the wrong thing, right? Doing the right thing by defeating the Exaltus, and then using that as leverage to get money. Obviously, you're doing the right thing for malicious purposes. And yeah. So Magus seems to be far too naive, thinking, yep, just do the right thing. It's like, yeah. I mean, still, you want to do the right thing, obviously. You still want to defeat the Exaltus, regardless. But you can't pretend. I mean, basically, don't delude yourself into thinking you're on the side of justice, even if you're doing the right thing.
ブリーフィングは以上とする。それと
軍の少将が私
何
Okay, I think I'm going to put a pin in this. Can I speak to? Oh, yeah, I can speak to it. Nice. Oh, yeah, so I'm going to put a pin in this because it's been an hour. So, progressed pretty far into this. I'm curious to see where it's going to go. It's nice to see we see another Exaltus. Oh, actually, no, wait, is it Sarah? Isn't Sarah the Exaltus we saw before? She was the secretary of that construction company dude who tried to sell him out. Isn't that who Sarah was? I thought that was her name. I guess that's what she really looks like, maybe? Either way. Either way, I'm going to go ahead and call it now. So that would get me out of... how do I get out of this? Oh, is it this? Yeah. Oh. Can't get out. Huh. Well, whatever. I guess I'll just stay here and do this tomorrow. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call it. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.